Hello, Braves country. It's Coach Ken Anderson, County for Hardcore Braves, and I got my main man Ryan. How the heck are you doing tonight?
Doing pretty good, man. We're the best team in Major League Baseball today. 20-9 to start the year. First place, the Phillies and Mets. We can't even see them because they're so far underneath the 50 layers of crap that we've put them underneath. So it's been a good start to the season, Ken.
It really has, and a weird thing to come out today is we have more wins than both of them combined. So that should make all Braves fans happy. So we just got done playing the Phillies, and we took two out of three. Lots of stuff to take from the series, even some stuff that come out after the series. We'll get to later on, but let's go ahead and dive into Game One. Game one was an interesting game. Grant Holmes uh, went 6 innings, gives up 3 runs. And it's kind of like pulling teeth with Grant a little bit. He's always good the first time through. For some reason, the second time he wants to try to. I don't know. He doesn't want to. He wants to nibble a lot, to be honest with you. And then third time through, he's back to okay again. So it's kind of weird. But he only gave up 3 runs in 6 innings. So overall, what would you take of Grant Holmes' performance in Game One?
It was a Grant Holmes performance. I mean, I think that makes sense, right? I mean, he's going to give you 5, 6 innings. He's going to give up 2 to 3, maybe 4 earned runs, and you're going to be like, wow, that could have been a whole lot worse. But I mean, that's just kind of Grant. Look, I mean, I at least you know what you're going to get from Grant, and you might get the occasional like really really good start or the occasional really really bad start. But for the most part, you know that you're going to get 5 and 6, 3 to 4 earned runs, and that's a stable in the rotation right now, and that's something the Braves need. So I don't hate it.
I don't either. And the thing is kind of like comp to some of the old timers is he's got a little bit of real old timers like me, Rick Mailer in him. Rick Mailer who pitched back in the '80s and was an All Star, which Grant could possibly be too if some years he's actually on. He just gives you that cash and quality start a little bit. He gives you 6 innings and gives yourself a chance to win. So we get Andrew Painter for the second time, and that's always interesting how players and batters adjust to that. And so our hitters going into the game, had seen him. So what do you think about their approach in Game Two? It looked like they tried to also get his pitch count up again in that game. But what do you think about our hitters' approach to Andrew Painter the second time?
I think the hitter's approach was fine. I think Painter was just pretty good until he got tired near the end. He left that one hanging split up to Ronald that he sent 5,000 feet into the stands out there. But other than that, he pitched really well. I think it was the sixth inning when he got into it, and he was already at like 80 to 90 pitches, and Rob Thompson left him out there. That was very questionable on that part, but I mean, I thought Painter looked really good, and the Braves hitters were putting up really good at bats all night, and they finally wore him down in the sixth inning and got to him, and then got into the Phillies bullpen. They did what you had to do against a guy who was pretty good. You work the count, you get the pitch count up, and you get him out of the game. I mean, they did a good job.
Yeah, they really did. And we talked about on Braves Hip Coil to beat Andrew Painter, and they've done that back to back games with him. It's a really good sign that we're able to work a pitcher because that's something I think we struggled at. Um, of course, Trey Turner, I didn't really understand the pitch selection to Trey on that. Trey hits a 2-run homer. Again, it's like second time through. I'd like for him to maybe use his fastball. I think they're all kind of sitting on that off speed now, that second time through, and that might be part of his problem. Uh, Trey did not miss that pitch, but what do you think about that? Maybe he should, have a little bit more faith in his fastball second time through because it seems like the hitters are really sitting on that off speed.
I think Grant, like you said, kind of gets into trouble where he throws his off speed a good bit first time through the lineup, and it's really good. And the guys, first time seeing him that day, they don't really recognize it, but second time through the lineup, they have an idea what it looks like, and it's not as effective. So, yeah, I would like Grant to mix in the fastball a little bit better, but again, he's got to pick his spots in good locations, not out over the plate where a batter can just drop the head of the bat on it and hit it out of the ballpark. But yeah. I mean, you're going to have to run it inside on guys. Use your sinker a little bit more inside on the righties, particularly. Like, that's the reason why you have the sinker is to run it in on them. So run it in and jam them with it and get them off the slider going away. I think that's the next step that Grant needs to take a look at is how can I use my fastballs effectively to make my off speed even that much better. So that's where I'm at with that.
Yeah, I am too. I'm in exactly the same position. So we get down, and Ronnie gets to face Andrew Painter. And if you missed it on Braves Hip Coil special edition, that Ryan did a great job on. So a lot of y'all seen it. He's got over 20 something thousand views on this. The Ronnie Cunha, how to get it. He got his hands inside, and he absolutely murdered that baseball. I think it finally did land on Sunday. So what do you think about his adjustments he made this weekend? We'll get into the other games, but you could see that the work that he tried to do on coming home, it looked like he made some adjustments and he got to that inside pitch and hit it pretty well.
Yeah, he got a little bit of a hanging split there. It's from a painter, so it was definitely a gift for him. But he did, from what I saw, his hands were a little bit higher this series. He's still not getting into his hip like he needs to. Like I wish that part he would get back to like he was in 23, how really coiled up he would get and how effectively he would use the ground to his benefit to generate power. For everybody who's like, well, where's Ronald's power gone? He's just not hitting the ball hard. I'm like, well, it's because he's not loading properly. He has nothing to put into the baseball right now. So when Ronald starts doing that, that's when you're going to start seeing the power numbers come back for Ronald. So he's got a little bit more work to do, but he's in the right direction.
Yeah, I think so too. So we get a little bit further in the game. Grant gives up another run, and they take the lead 3-2. But working Andrew got us into the sixth inning, and we get a couple of guys on. And Walt Wise, he's just not afraid to pull that card whenever he has to. Even he's not waiting to the ninth inning. And it is the one difference I see between him and Brian. Snicker's a great Hall of Fame. We'll get him to tomorrow on the second game. But the one difference you can see for Walt, if he feels like he needs to use the bullet, he's going to use the bullet. He goes to Michael Harris, and Michael comes unglued on this ball. It was surprised it stayed in the ballpark. He hit that hard, it knuckled a little bit. Big 2-run double. It gave us the lead that we didn't look back from. What do you think about both things? First, Walt being able to pull that when he feels like he's ready, and that's kind of early in the game in the sixth to pull your big gun. Two, how he really surprised Rob Thompson, I guess, because he did not have a left-hander up in that situation. And three, what do you think about Money Mike coming through in that chance right there?
I think it was the perfect storm. I think you got runners on at the perfect time because Thompson, he's trying to stay away from that bullpen, and Painter looked really good through 5 innings. So you get to that situation, and Thompson's like, "Oh wow, this happened really fast," and then he's probably just then starting to get a lefty warming up in the bullpen because Olson and Baldwin are lurking later in the game. And Walt looks at that. He goes, "Oh, he doesn't have a lefty. Hey, Mike, grab a freaking bat. You're gonna go hit." And Michael Harris, he took 2 pitches that were kind of borderline. He got 1 pitch that was just sniffed the strike zone, and he absolutely murdered it into the gap, which I thought was the most impressive thing. He took 2 borderline pitches, and then the one that was in the zone, but like not a great pitch to hit, he still absolutely destroyed it in the left center field for a double. I thought it was gone personally, but that ball probably gets out in June.
Yeah, he almost hit it too hard. He kind of knuckled on him and hit the wall. Um, he crushed it. So big hit by Money, and he's in a great place right now. So we get the lead, and our bullpen is kind of weird right now. We're going through a stretch, and he's really trying to get to Monday. We're in kind of one of these long stretches to get an off day on Monday. And so he goes with Bummer in the seventh, and I think Aaron probably had his best outing of the year in the seventh. He really threw the ball well. Piamps in the eighth, and he got a little lucky. They hit the ball pretty hard off of him, but he got through it, and that's at the end of the day, it's what you do. And he got through it, and then Mister Pissmiss will come in, and he closed the door in the ninth. So what do you think about our bullpen closing out the victory in Game 1?
Aaron Bummer is safe from my wrath this go round. Ken. He look. I look. He had a absolute dogfight with Kyle Schwarber in a 3-2 count that felt like it lasted for half a century, but he won the battle. He didn't give in. He made his pitches. He didn't hang a sweeper for the first time in I don't know how long. So hats off to Bummer for really, nutting up right there and getting out of the jam without allowing anything across the plate. Pie Amps did the same thing. Look, maybe we got a little lucky with some hard contact outs, but look, we didn't get that luck last year, so I'm going to take every bit of that I can. Kudos to the bullpen, and then you got Suarez who just comes in and just blows doors, which I just absolutely love seeing, and I'm so glad that we signed him. I was talking to Ben yesterday. I was like, this is probably my favorite signing that the Braves have made in the last few years, like by far.
Yeah, it's a big one, and to be honest with you, if we get to where we're going to get to, and Iglesias gets back healthy, I think it'd be the difference on us this year, getting further than we've gone definitely since 2021. I'm not saying we're going to the World Series yet, but we're going to have a shot because those two guys at the back end of the bullpen are excellent. So we win the game 5-3. Anything else that stands out in game one? Extended their losing streak, which was the longest losing streak they've had since 1999. So it's a good night for the Braves. But you got anything else from that game?
No, I mean Braves did everything that you could hope for. They played good defense. They pitched well and they hit just enough and they really worked the counts on the pitchers that they needed to. They did a great job in game one.
They did. They did. So we go to game two, and it's a special night at the stadium. It got kind of ruined a little bit because of the rain delay, but they took it downstairs. I thought it was a great ceremony. We'll just talk on that a little quick. Brian Snicker inducted into the Hall of Fame. I thought they did a really good job. I thought the speeches from the people that gave their speeches, Terry Pendleton, Chipper Jones, Jeff Francoeur, and all of them, did a really good job. Overall, what'd you take out of the ceremony?
It was awesome, man. There were some you saw Snit tear up a little bit, and when he was seeing all the stuff from his grandkids, and then when he was up there thanking everybody. One thing that I really will say is Brian Snicker did not leave a single soul out of his thank you speech. Basically, what it was, he named everybody. He named everybody in the organization that ever had an effect on him, from the clubbies to the ushers. Like, I mean, he like that's really one thing that stood out to me. That just the kind of person that Brian Snicker is, to remember all those people and then give credit to them at this type of ceremony. You don't hear that too often, and that was really cool. So I don't know if anybody picked up on that, but I did, and I thought that really spoke a lot about the person that Snit is, and I read the plaque too, where you got to see him hoisting up the World Series trophy in that one background, and him basically throughout the years. That was really cool too. So it was just a really good ceremony. BG did a great job with it too.
Yeah, he did, and a little bit of what you're talking about. He really showed Walt Watts a lot of love. I mean, and all y'all who want to hark back on 2025, y'all can just go ahead and kiss his butt, Walt's butt, my butt, Brian's butt, because Walt and Brian are buddies. So when you're killing one, he taught Walt how to manage. Now Walt's got his own style that's different. Your own style is different than managing, and he's doing a hell of a job. But you could tell he really is appreciative of the season that they're having. So, um, you know, so enough of that. But there's a really good ceremony. They get the game, and Bryce is struggling in the first inning again, but it wasn't really a lot of his fault. I don't really know what Yaz is doing. We taught high school kids, if you're the corner outfield and you go to the line, you better make sure you can catch it if you dive. If not, give up the single and not the triple. And just a big misplay right there in the first inning to give the Phillies their first run, don't you think?
Yeah, look, I like the aggressiveness, right? I like the hustle play. I like that, but you got to be smart, right? And the best thing was at least it was early in the game. It wasn't late in the game, but again, it's in the game. It still is going to have an effect over the overall outcome. it was a bad play. It's a player that's trying to do too much because he's struggling at the plate. Like if you were going into the gap and you're making that catch or trying to make that catch, that's understandable because you have Michael or Eli White at that time who was in center field who could back you up. But right there, you're going towards the line. Nobody's there to help save your skin if you miss it, and it turned into a run, which would later be a big thing later on in this game.
It did. Um, for the Phillies, they had Zach coming back for his season debut after a really health scare, and you could really hear the his 500 fans that he had tickets for in that stadium when he was pitching because he did good and he was amped up like we thought he would. We talked about on Braves Hip Coil uh, that he would be amped up, and he got it up to 96. But I thought our hitters pretty much addressed him pretty well. And as we talked about, and Ryan can gloat, Ryan's been hitting on these picks to click. The one guy that he had struggled with in the lineup is Austin Riley. And we were able to get to him and get some runs. So, what do you think about our approach against Zach Wheeler? And how do you think Zach looked? And also, how do you think our hitters look?
I think Zach looked really good for his first time being on a major league mound in just under a year, and everything that he had to go through in order to get back, he looked like he didn't miss a day. The only thing that you could see was around the fifth, sixth inning. I think it was like the fifth inning is when he started getting tired. He just didn't have his legs up under him, and that's going to take some time for him to build that endurance level back up. But when, but when he does, he's going to be Mr. Zach Wheeler, that is Mr. Cy Young candidate because he looked really good. And for the hitters to be able to do what they did and get his pitch count up and getting tired, that was a win in itself because he had really good stuff that night. I don't that it, it's a wonder that we were able to score runs off of him. He looked that good. Like fastball command was there, breaking balls were really good. The splitter command and the break on the splitter as well was really good. Like he had all of his stuff working. Like he was a tough matchup. He looked really good.
Yeah, I agree. So we get some hits and we get the lead on them, and a couple other misplays in the outfield. Ronald gets way too close to that wall in right field. The ball was hit so hard it got ricocheted all the way back to Matt for another triple. This is the play here. Uh, Ronnie just misjudged how far that ball was going, and if he had to play over again, that should have been a single. And then later on in the when they tie the game up, they hit a piss missile. The ball was hit hard, and all the times those balls right at the center fielder is really hard. And Eli took jab step too quick inside, and when he did, the field it started raining again, and he slipped, and they got another triple. So three of the runs they scored to tie the game 4-4, really on misplays in the outfield. Overall, I think our pitching in the first 9 innings pitched pretty well in that game, don't you think?
Yeah, Bryce was victimized a little bit because of the outfield defense this game, but he pitched really well, I thought, and you could tell like the Phillies hitters were not very comfortable against him in the box. Like they had a tough time with him. He was hitting his spots. He wasn't leaving anything out over the plate. He had good movement on his two seamer. His cutter looked really good as well. His slider, of course, was good. He was using the changeup effectively. Like he was using all of his weapons well. Bryce pitched well. The bullpen up until that dreaded extra inning pitched really well, and we'll get into that in just a second. But I mean, first 9 innings, our pitching was phenomenal. The offense was doing their thing. It's just one of those things where some weird things happened, and you can chalk it up to boys, it was just one of those days.
Yeah, it was, and we they tie the game 4-4, and we go to extra innings, and we're going to touch on this real quick because it become a little bit of a hot topic because a lot of us jumped on there, and even the Braves truthers who think that they're always a perfect team. There's nothing wrong with that. Y'all are fans, do what you got to do. Even had to admit, I'm not sure what purpose Jose Suarez really is for the Atlanta Braves. I've been against him all year, and not him personally. He's probably a great guy, but just his pitching, I think you can get about anybody to do that. Cookie Carrasco could go out there and give us the innings. I know we're looking for a left-handed reliever, which we just don't have a lot of in our system. Hayden's getting lit up right now in the minor leagues. So I've said enough on Jose Suarez. What about your thoughts on Jose Suarez? Because I thought it was like watching a double A pitcher trying to get a major league team out in the 10th inning. And to be honest with you, we were lucky we only gave up 4 runs in that extra inning.
Yeah, we were lucky that he only gave up 4 runs. I would rather watch paint dry than to have watched that performance out of Jose Suarez. I'll keep it up buck 10 with you, Ken. I was very frustrated. He wasn't throwing strikes. I think the first freaking batter that he faced in extra innings was a walk. He also walked somebody with the bases loaded instead of at least putting it in the strike zone. So that again is very frustrating. I can't stand walks, as you guys know. Um, I don't. He's a body right now. Like I'll even be honest with you, Bummer's a little bit more valuable than Jose Suarez at this point because at least Bummer's getting outs and he's at least hitting his spots more times than not. But when he doesn't, he doesn't. I uh I can't imagine when Spencer Strider comes back, he's still in this bullpen. I think when Strider comes back and on the road trip that's coming up, you're going to see Suarez DFA'd, and you're going to see I would imagine you're either going to see Perez or Holmes move to the bullpen. I would imagine that's coming up, and that can't happen soon enough.
No, we're going to get to what we think is going to happen. There's going to be, I think, a lot of moves. That's about it from game two. Other than we need to really give Ozzy and some love. There was not like one big moment. He just was very consistent in all 3 games. Let's just pick this spot to give Ozzy some love. That was Ben's pick to click. So let's give Ben some love on that too. Ozzy just had a really good series. And so let's give him some love. And then Money Mike can stay very consistent, had a good series too. So you want to talk about Money and Ozzy and how good a series they had? I think they both had 3 hits in this game, by the way.
Yeah, Michael continues to see beach balls at the plate. I think that's the best way to explain how he's feeling in the box. Is everything looks like it's a beach ball, and he can read the seams perfectly out of the hands. Ozzy, I think, was like 6 for 13 in this series with a couple RBIs. I mean, look, for all you people that are just absolutely waiting for the Ozzy Albies regression, you can stop. It's not happening. He might slow down a little bit, and his average might dip, but then guess what? He'll get on his patented little Ozzy Albies streak, and it's going to be right back up. He is back. The little monster is back. So y'all quit hating on my little monster. Thank you.
Amen. Amen. I agree with you. So we lose a game, and the world's not coming to an end. I had to put out a tweet. It's going to be okay. I mean, we lost the game. We won 3 in a row. I mean, I don't know what y'all really want
We were
sometimes.
19-9, Ken. Come on, you can't see the disaster right there, right in front of us. We're 19-9. You know the sky's falling. We're in first place. Like how could things not get any worse?
I know. I know. We have to go ahead and trot Chris Sale out there for game 3 because every time y'all get upset, we had to go throw our ace. And Chris Sale was magical again. He 1 hit in 6 innings, 9 strikeouts. His at bat against Bryce Harper, where he was down 3-0 and decided, Bryce, I think you're not going to get a hit, was beautiful. We always can talk glory of Chris Sale, but he really earned it this start. He looked outstanding. This was the start we were looking for. He looked really good. I think his second inning, correct me if I'm wrong, Ryan, he did kind of have a little hiccup, but he got through with his control. But just overall, that's an A plus, or as y'all like to say, S tier outing by Chris Sale. So, what do you think about Chris on Sunday?
He's your horse's ace, as Dan Plesac will call one of him. He's going to go out there. He's going to give you 6+ innings of work. He's going to give up 0 to 2 runs a game, and he's going to strike out about 9 to 10 guys. And that's what he did in this game against the Phillies. Look, he had one inning where he lost command. He loaded the bases up, and he's like, you know what, Harper? Gave him the middle finger and then just absolutely shoved it down his throat. And Bryce was like, okay, yes, sir. And then walked out to first base to begin the next top half of the inning. He was absolutely fantastic. That's why he's going to be a Hall of Famer in the after he retires. One of the best pitchers who's ever donned a uniform, and you're seeing why.
I agree. That was his 150th victory too, so that's outstanding. And he's on his way, like Ryan said, to the Hall of Fame. He may actually get to 200 wins if he stays healthy enough. So when the Phillies won, they got a little energy. What you have to do is you have to say, "No, boy, you just got lucky. We're going to go pounce on you." They did that in the bottom of the first. Ronnie hustled single, Drake rakes a single, and then Matt come unglued on the ball. I mean, he absolutely come unglued. When he hits them like that and he gets the pose, I wonder what you think as a pitcher sometimes on the mound because that ball was blasted. It gives us a 3-run lead. And I'll be honest with you, I thought game over at that moment. How about you, Ryan?
Yeah, Matt Olson gave it the look that, I'm going to try to keep it PG-13. That happens in a particular place. That kind of look. Yeah, he got every stitch of that ball, and it made him feel some type of way. And I felt the exact same way when he hit that baseball. Yeah, as soon as we got 3 runs and you're going up against Chris Sale, you could see the life just gets sucked right out of the Philadelphia dugout, as it should have, because you give up 3 runs, and then you got to go out there and face that demon. Good luck. And they didn't just stop there. I think the next inning they scored 3 more runs, and that's all she wrote.
Yeah, just we went to the bottom of the second. Mauricio hits a triple, and we told you Mauricio really can drive that ball to right center, and you're starting to see that from him too. And then Eli gets a pitch, and he hits a pitch missile into the left field bullpen. And the fact of the matter is they've tried to force feed Eli against left-handed pitching, but it seems like Eli hits right-handed pitching better. And but whatever. So Ronnie gets a walk, and then he's still second. And then Drake hits a rope back through, and like you said, we're up 6-0, and all things are good in Atlanta. We had told you on Braves Hip Call that we were going to score against Aaron Nola, and why you're not watching that show is beside me because we're giving you pearls on that show, and we nailed one again. So, what do you think about the Braves hitting approach against Mr. Nola? And it just, if you're a Philadelphia fan or even a major league fan, it's kind of sad to see. You can see this kind of end of the road for Aaron Nola, and he's still got 4 more years on that contract. And so, what do you think about our hitting approach and Mr. Nola?
I'm so glad Mr. Nola decided to go back and torture the Phillies for the rest of his career. Thank you. I appreciate that for not signing with the Atlanta Braves. I will never be mad at you for that decision. Thank you, good sir. And the Atlanta Braves, they just absolutely do what they do in the box. And if you catch the Jared Carabas drift there, you know what this lineup does. And they did it the entire series, and against Nola was no different. They went out there and they just said, you know what, we're going to see that 92 fastball, and we're just going to absolutely slap the crap out of it all over the ballpark. And that's what they did. They literally spit on anything that had spin, and they saw the one ball that's going to be straight coming into the zone, and they just did not miss it. I think it was something ridiculous. I think they were like 7 for 11 or something off his fastball in the first 11 attempts at putting the ball in play, which is absolutely insane. So kudos to the offense for having a really solid approach and sticking to it.
Yeah, very good. And so we get the win. The one little thing is this Walt's like, well, Aaron looked good. Let's get him back out there. And of course, he gets tattooed on one, and they get a couple of runs off of us, so we don't get the shutout. But overall, really good win, and you get a day off on Monday. You feel good on Monday. We win another series. We still are the only team. Let's hope we keep saying this for a long time. Only team in Major League Baseball who's not lost a series. So, anything else you got to add from either Game 3 of the series before we get into our play of the series and MVP of the series?
It took Mother Nature and God for the Philadelphia Phillies to win a game against us. That's all I have to say.
It really did. I really think the wet field cost us the game because Eli did step in, but again, guys, don't kill him on that because that's your initial reaction, and that ball carries, and he would have on a dry field would have got back and caught that ball. So uh, it just happened. So they got a little lucky on that. So very good series. There's a as we were loving this every series. We got a lot to pick from for the play of the series. But what is your play of the series?
Play of the series. It's gonna be Michael Harris and that double man. Look, that was game one was big because me and you discussed it again on Braves Hip Coil. That game one was going to be pivotal because you had Mr. Wheeler lined up for game two, and we all knew that was going to be tough. And then we had the cupcake game in game three with Nola and Sale. So uh, to get that the go ahead RB 2 run double from Michael Harris in game one, that was by far for me the play of the series for sure.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's the play of the series. They just give it kind of a runner up. I think was also a big play. Was also in game one. Is Ronnie had been missing some of these pitches that he could really hit, and he finally got one and he didn't miss it. So Painter was feeling pretty good, and like Ryan said, he missed on a splitter. Ronnie didn't miss us. It tied the game up. So I think that winning game one was huge for us, and I think both of those big plays. But I think overall, Michael coming off the bench and this team's energy is just amazing. You can just tell they have a lot of fire in them, and they really think they're going to go win the World Series. Now, all y'all might not be on the bandwagon yet, but just get ready to join them because this team thinks they can go beat the Dodgers and win a World Series. So we'll see how that goes. MVP of a series, kind of difficult, but what do you think?
MVP of the series. Oh man, I got two guys, but I'm only gonna pick one. I'm gonna go Ozzy Albies. I'm gonna go Ben's pick to click 6 for 13 with a few RBIs in this series, and he had his fingerprints all over it. I'm gonna go Ozzy Albies.
I like it. Yeah, I think Ozzy is definitely a really good choice. Um, just to be different and have a different one, and because he got his 150th win, I'm gonna go Chris Sale. I thought Chris Sale was outstanding. One hit and nine strikeouts in 6 innings, and he passed Finley on the all-time strikeout list. He's going to keep moving up that, and he's going to pass some more famous names than Finley. But anybody who never got to see Finley pitch, he was an outstanding left-handed pitcher. He was really good for the Angels. But I'll go Chris Sale and Ozzie Albies. So many more we could pick from, and we'll get a chance to do that as the season goes on. So let's get to we got coming up. We have got the Detroit Tigers. Now, the Tigers are an interesting team. I think most people think they're way better than their 15-14 record they're going to bring in here because of their pitching staff. But if you watch their team hit, you can see why they're 15-14. So, getting into the series, we're going to probably face the three toughest pitchers that we faced in the series. Now, they're not the best pitchers we faced all year. One of them is. But overall, these three pitchers back to back to back, it's going to be very difficult. We get Casey Mize, a terrific pitcher. We're going to get Tariq Skubal and then Framber Valdez. This is going to be a tough ride. We're going to send Martin Perez on Tuesday. We're going to send, I'll just get my Elder's going on Thursday, and Wednesday is the kid, J.R. Ritchie. Very interesting matchups, and we'll get into why the rotation is in a little bit on that. But what do you think going into the Tiger series? This could be a very difficult series for us.
It's going to be a very difficult series, but if I'm going to be honest with you, Ken, there's only one pitcher in this rotation that scares me, and that is Mr. Scooble. I look, I'm not disrespecting Casey Mize. I'm not disrespecting Framber Valdez. We've handled Framber in the past very well when he pitches in Atlanta, or whether we've seen him in Houston. We've got his number pretty good. Casey Mize, I think we have seen some other comparable arms on the right side. I mean, we just finished facing Zach Wheeler, so no offense to you, Mr. Mize, but I think Zach Wheeler has taken the cake in that one, and we handled Zach Wheeler fairly well as well. So the only one that I think we're going to have trouble with is going to be Mr. Scooble. I'm not saying that the other two are going to be easy by any chance, but I feel like we have a really good shot to win those games. It's going to be game two with that ridiculous human being that is a pitcher in Tariq Skubal. That's going to be a really tough get.
It is. It's going to be a fascinating matchup because we have a tremendous rookie that's going to be making his second start in J.R. Ritchie. So thing I want from JR is not to be too pumped up because he's going to be pumped up. He was pumped up in game one. He threw that fastball and he ended up pulling a little bit because he was so pumped up, and James Wood hit it. Um, and they got some guys that can do the same thing. Riley Green, Kerry Carpenter, Spencer Torks, and they got some guys that got some pop. Their best player, though, is a rookie as well. And McGonigal, special player. He actually leads American League rookies in every, I mean, one time, guys, not one, not two, not three, all 22 offensive category. That's hard to do, Ryan. So tell me what you think about their young stud.
He's the real deal, man. That kid can flat out bleeping hit a baseball. He that there, there's guys who have just God given abilities, and that young man has a God given ability to hit a baseball. Some of the things that he can do with the bat is just you can't teach it. He's going to be really special. And if I were the Tigers, I would quickly lock that youngster up because if you don't, he's going to get really pricey really fast, and his price per day is going up as we speak. So he's going to be fun to watch, but as I say that, I hope he goes 0 for 15 with 15 strikeouts, or he catches the flu for 3 days, not hospitalized flu, but just, crapping your pants a little bit and you can't play baseball flu and you got to sit the pine for a little bit. That's all.
Yeah, yeah, it's going to be interesting to watch. So if you're not there Wednesday night, I feel bad for you because Tariq School against J.R. Ritchie will be special. I think what Fromber Valdez against Bryce Elder is a sneaky, really big time matchup on Thursday afternoon. So if you want to miss work, you want to the boss, Thursday afternoon is definitely a game I would do. That's going to be special. And of course, Casey Mize against Martin Perez. Martin Perez has meant a ton to this team. I got a sneaky feeling, and that this is the team that Braves fans are going to finally notice because they don't know else how good Martin's been this year. Detroit's lineup is kind of like this. I could see Martin having a good night. So with that said, 3-game series, do we continually get to be the only team with a winning series, or are we going to lose our first series, Ryan? What do you got?
We're winning 2 out of 3, Ken. We're not stopping now. This wagon continues on to, what is it, Colorado after that? Yeah, we're with this wagon's going to Colorado without a series loss. I just look, Detroit, I'm not downplaying your pitching, but my God, you cannot hit a baseball outside of Mr. McGonigal. Look, I mean Riley Green's been pretty good, but their lineup when you throw a left-handed pitcher, Kerry Carpenter, I don't think plays very much. You take some of their weapons away from them, so I think Game One's a good opportunity for us to win. And Bryce Elder, I think, just does I think he's done really well against left-handed hitters this year with the cutter addition. So like I think that kind of plays to our strength a little bit. Bryce has been solid, and like I said, we handle Framber pretty well in the past. It's just gonna be game two that you got to win game one, and then you can relax in game two even if you lose, and then game three you just got to take it. But I think we win 2 out of 3. How about you?
I think we're going to take 2 out of 3. There's a different series coming up that I think we may get our first series loss, and I can't wait to see Braves Twitter lose their ever living mind. Being it, it's going to be in May, but I think we're going to take 2 out of 3, and we'll see how it goes. Definitely, game one's a pivotal game for both teams. I think both teams are going to want to win that game. I think that Detroit thinks they have the advantage with Mize over Perez, and I think they have to win that game to win the series. And for us, if we win that game, then we feel pretty good with Elder on Thursday to win that game. So game one will be big. So anything else to add before the series before we talk about some things that are going on with our pitching rotation?
Did you want to do a pick to click?
We can, yeah. Let's do a pick to click because I got a guy I think is going to actually have a great series. You want me to start?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I believe watching his at bats this weekend, and I know now for sure after watching his bats this weekend, Ronnie is a fan of hardcore Braves and Braves hip cool. And I think Ronnie Acuna is going to have a wonderful series. I think also Dingler's tough. Dingler can throw, but I think he's going to steal some bases in this series as well. And especially Fromber doesn't like to really hold runners. So I think he could be a big plus, and I'm going to go Ronnie Acuna announces his presence, and it leads us to a winning series. How about you?
Oh man, let's see. You know what? I'm gonna do it until he breaks out of his daggum slump because I just can't deal with it anymore. Austin Riley, I need you to absolutely go nuclear this series. Go crazy. 3 for 3 off Scooble with 3 bombs. Go nuts, kid. Have fun again and just relax at the freaking plate because my God, you don't need to put this much pressure on yourself. And by the way, there are really good signs that Riley is coming out of it. You're gonna have to stay tuned for the Brave Sip Cool episode though to find out why. That's coming out too.
Yep, I agree. I think he's close to. So we'll go with that. For those who, with Yaz, we're going to do a couple of things that were going on with the team. So Yaz set the game on Sunday. That gave him one day off. Set off day on Tuesday. He's got two lefties on Wednesday and Thursday. So what that's going to do, uh, yeah, Wednesday and Thursday.
No. I was like, he's not playing this
Yeah,
game.
he's not playing. Yeah, I thought wait, I get the rotation on. So that's 4 days. I've been saying Yaz needs a week off. That's what you're seeing him get right now, and so that's the first thing going on with the transactions. You may going to see a little bit less of Yaz. Eli is starting to hit the ball a little bit too. You may see Eli a little bit, and I wouldn't be surprised if they don't let Yaz just sit out the whole Tiger series. Now, analytics may say different with Casey Mize. We may get him in that game, but we'll see. And the other thing is Raylo's going to the bullpen, and I think it's the best thing for Raylo. I think he's the reliever. Everybody wants to talk about Grant Holmes. That's the big hot topic on Braves Twitter, where Grant should pitch. It's Raylo to me that should be in the pen the whole time. I think that when he gears up, I think part of the reason his mechanics are bad is because he's trying to sustain 6 innings and 100 pitches. When he gets to the pen, he just throws and doesn't think about that stuff. And so maybe his mechanics do get worked out, but he's going to go to the pen, and it's at the right time because Iglesias is not going to be back during this series or even the Colorado series. I think he can come back on the West Coast trip, and I expect him to be back then. But so, what do you think about Yaz sitting for a while? That's what's going to happen. How do you think it'll affect him? And then also Lopez going to the pen.
I'll start with Yaz. I think you know, Chipper would talk about it too when he was going through a slump. Sometimes he would just need to take a day or two off and just work on mechanics and try to work some things out. I think Yaz needs to take this time off and to work on his mechanics and the stuff that he's got going on. Don't worry about getting into a game. Don't worry about your average. Don't worry about your at bats. You go in there, you get in the cage, and you work your rear end off because you got some stuff going on with your swing that you need to get it figured out because otherwise it doesn't matter what you do in the box because you're going to either pop up, you're going to miss the fastball right down the middle, or you're going to take it because you're not seeing the ball. So get your mechanical stuff worked out in this time off and enjoy the time off because we're going to need you. So for everybody who's saying Yaz is shit, yes, he has been playing poorly. There's no doubt about that. He is not a terrible baseball player, and he's got too much on the back of the baseball card saying otherwise. So again, show a little bit of respect for these guys. Baseball is hard. I think you guys forget how hard baseball is, especially those of you who've never played baseball a day in your life. I would encourage you just to go see 90 miles an hour one time in the batter's box, and you'll have a whole different perspective. But for Raylo, I think it's me and you talked about this off camera a lot, Ken. Like I said earlier in the pod, you kind of know what you're getting from Grant, right? You're going to get around 5 to 6 innings. You're going to get anywhere from 1 to 4 earned runs, and you're going to have a chance to win on his day. Raylo, it was always like, okay, when's the first bad one coming? Because his stuff just doesn't line up. Analytically anymore, his stuff has decreased. It's gotten a little bit worse. And that may be because of like what you said, he just doesn't have the endurance to go 6, 7 innings like he needs to as a starting pitcher, but he can go give you 1 or 2 out of the bullpen at 98 miles an hour with a really good slider. And I think that's the best version of Reynaldo Lopez, and I think that's the best version that helps his team, especially with the bullpen problems that we've had.
I agree. So that's kind of what we got going on in Braves country. They're winning. It's fun, and the team is making adjustments to its roster. We got things coming. Don't I don't mind y'all texting me and inboxing me on how Murphy's doing in rehab. Don't look at numbers. Please don't look at numbers. But Strider did look good in his outings down there, so Strider will be back probably in the Colorado series. Just what Bo, Chad, think. So I agree with them. So anything else to add before we get on out of here tonight?
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. Everybody's already slandering Sean Murphy, and he's been in AAA. You guys got to realize it's his spring training down there, and he hasn't swung a baseball bat until literally right before his rehab assignment. Y'all realize that, right? He had hip labrum surgery, which takes forever to heal and recover from. He had to build his strength back up in his legs, and then he could finally start swinging a baseball bat, probably about 3 or 4 weeks before he went out on his rehab assignment. So take it easy on Sean Murphy a little bit. It's going to take him a while to get going again because he's been out for so long. So chill out. My God, have a little bit of sympathy one time.
I agree. So we get to our final thoughts. My final thought is if you can somehow find a way to get a ticket for Wednesday night, I think it'll be a special night. I think you're going to see two special pitchers. I think you're going to see a guy that can win the Cy Young in the American League, and I think you're going to see a guy who could actually win the Rookie of the Year if he stays in this rotation in the National League. So it doesn't matter. There's a lot of National League Rookie of the Years that don't start the season until May. So J.R. Ritchie had an outstanding performance to start off with. Find a ticket, get in the ballpark, and see Tariq Skubal and J.R. Ritchie pitch Wednesday, and you're going to thank Coach later that you did because I think it's going to be a special night. How about you, Ryan? What's your final thought before we get out of here?
The Phillies and Mets are absolutely terrible, and I absolutely love seeing them melt down on Twitter way more than Braves fans are. So that that all right is in the world right now. All's right in the world right now.
You're a Braves fan. Everything's all right. Enjoy where we're at. We are on our way to a division championship in the playoffs, and that's very nice since we didn't do that in 2024, 2025 as far as winning the division. So that's Braves Homer 27. Braves Hip Cool. Make sure you see him on YouTube. Make sure you see him on X. Ben's not here, but that's at Reaver underscore cards. He's doing a lot of work. He did a great video on Tate South theme. Check it out. He tells me that he's got a good one coming out this next week. Lethal's got his talk on Augusta and Rome coming out Tuesday. You can see him at Lethal Play. I'm at Boyd PC. Erin on deck is crushing it. We don't think she's going to be with us long. She's going to be with Braves Vision on TV someday. That's at Erin on deck. Find everything at Hardcore Braves. And as always, we love you. Go Braves, and we're out. Peace.
You know what, boys? You guys are going to be world champions for the rest of your life.